What's up, everybody? We're a third of the way through April and it's still minus 13 with the wind chill. Let's go fly the Inspire 2. What's up, guys? Arden here with Yellow House Aerial. Flying your drone in the cold is something that we get asked about a lot, and it's something that living in Calgary we actually end up doing a lot. So I'm down here out away from people and buildings as part of our regular flight operations and testing here. And since it's April and it's still minus 13, I figured I'd just film a quick video and just talk a little bit about flying the Inspire, or really any DJI system in the cold. So what I've done is I've actually gone ahead and cold sunk the entire system except for the Crystal Sky monitor, the remote, and the batteries. So the entire drone has been sitting outside for about an hour to minus 13 degrees. So the whole thing is cold. So the nice thing about the Inspire 2 is that from a snow perspective, it's pretty sealed up. There's not a lot of places for snow to get in and such. Now, you don't have to cold sink your drone. I'm just doing that to sort of make sure the system can still fly when it's cold. Because even if you start it warm, it's windy up there and it's cold, so the drone is going to get cold and it has to be able to handle that. So the batteries, the monitor, and the remote are the main things that you want to keep warm before you fly. So keep them in a car, keep them in a warm place. That's not news to you guys. So there's a couple little pieces of gear that are handy to have for flying in the winter. If you don't have these already, little microfiber cloths are great for wiping your lens off. And you should never really blow on a lens with your mouth, so having a blower is great to do that for you, keep things off the lens. And sometimes you need to see what you're doing, so having a little flashlight is great too. You can keep all these things in your AKS bag, which is a great place for all the little things that wouldn't really have somewhere to be otherwise. So I have an iPad Pro, which, you know, they're great. You can use them with everything from the Mavic, the little systems, all the way up to the Inspires. But the problem with these is they die when it gets cold. They're super thin and just wimpy when it comes to the cold, so they die. So this is why we use Crystal Sky. We've switched and haven't looked back. They are great for the cold. They have interchangeable batteries. There's videos on Crystal Sky. They're great. Maybe I'll do a review on them later, but you can see them outdoors and they're just so much better for operating in the winter and cold conditions. The difference is night and day. So you want to make sure that your batteries are over 15 degrees Celsius, otherwise most DJI drones won't even take off. Now the Inspire 2 has a heater in the batteries, which is great in case they start cold. If you hold the button on the Inspire 2 batteries for 3 seconds, it will actually start to warm the battery before you fly. And you do the same to turn it off. So we're all set up. It's snowing pretty heavily now. This is why you always use professional equipment. Let's go ahead and do it. Change of plans. It got pretty dark pretty fast out here and I just wasn't happy with the visibility. The temperature's okay and the precipitation is okay, but I didn't want to put the drone through too much and I didn't want to fly it where I couldn't see it. So I brought it back down. But there's a couple things to talk about. One, your batteries. As I said, always make sure that they are warm to start. But the neat thing is, lithium polymer batteries get warm as they drain. So by the end of a flight, your drone batteries are actually 30 to 40 degrees Celsius, depending how hard the batteries are working and if you've been flying straight or if you landed and took a bit of a break. The second thing, the sensors. So there's a couple different sensors. There's the compass and what's called the IMU, which is all of the motion. It's the internal motion unit. And sometimes it's good if you live in a variable climate like we do to sort of take your year of operations and break it up into 2 or 3 and say, here's your winter temperatures. For us, that's maybe minus 30 to minus 5. You have your sort of shoulder season temperatures, minus 5 to maybe 10 to 15 degrees, and then you have summer temps, anything above 10 all the way up to about, we get to 31, 32 here in the summer in Calgary. So take those 3 different seasons, and each time you transition to a different season, calibrate your IMU, calibrate that sensor, and do it in that temperature, because if you calibrate your IMU at home and your electronics are 21 degrees inside temperature, and then you go outside and it's minus 15, or you're on a mountaintop and you're flying, those electronics are going to behave differently in the cold than they would in the warm temperatures. So the third thing is icing conditions. Today precipitation is a little bit, but it's pretty dry here in Calgary, so icing is not too heavy today. I did a little bit of a flight and then checked the wing surfaces, and there wasn't any icing present there today. So when you start to ice up, those props just have to spin faster and faster, and you just have less lift, so you can't climb as quickly. So, and if it ices more and more and more, those props will keep going until they're going their max speed, and then your drone just won't be able to ascend anymore, and it'll just be kind of either straight or descend. Those will be your only options. So definitely be careful and be conscious of icing conditions when you're out flying in the snow. So even though we didn't get a lot today, I'm gonna go ahead and roll a couple clips that we got in below freezing conditions. You'll see the drone is still very capable, and there's some really amazing stuff you can do. Can we work this out? All in all, DJI systems are highly capable even in the cold. Just make sure that your batteries are warm before you fly. Watch out for icing conditions. And if you encounter something like we have, a low visibility here, just bring the drone home. You can always fly tomorrow. So fly safely. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, give us a like, subscribe to see what else we're into. This is Arden for Yellow House Aerial, and I will see you in the next video.
I could see the smoke